hot, hot, hot day here. All right. Another day of barely making it in. got my haircut because it's 90 some degrees here, and that is way too hot for someone that lives in Washington, for sure. What's up? First last, what's up, man? Thank you. Yeah, summertime has to get a little bit less. I get a little bit longer in the winter time, so I'm not dying. That's all right. Just make your name. It was options guy 2 taken. What's up, Audio Expanse? I need to, yeah, sorry, I think I wrote you back, but sorry I didn't see your message in the Discord. I have all my Discord notifications turned off just because it's ridiculously overwhelming, even like the DMs and stuff. Otherwise, my phone's just like blown up with it all the time, especially when I'm trying to record on my phone, like during the day, and I'm already turning like my text messages off and everything else, and that's why sometimes they end up pretty late because I'll get started and then I'll just get like phone calls and stuff interrupted. I will. I think my girlfriend's working super late today, so I'm hoping. Oh, and I gotta go teach her kid how to drive. So he just got his learner's permit, so we're gonna jump into the car for the first time. So that should be something completely new for me. And can't practice in the Tesla, which sucks. So I gotta go grab her car because apparently I was reading like you're not allowed to use a Tesla during the test drives because of all its safety features, which sucks. Oh, can you take us through how to get started with your strategies? Say maybe a 10K account. Really doesn't matter the size of the account. I use the same strategies now that I have like, well, I had a major bump up, but I mean, for the most part, it is just selling put credit spreads. That's been the majority of what I've done. And that's the same thing I've done on a couple other accounts too. I have a smaller Tastyworks account, and that I think is about up 12x from where I started. And it's just the exact same thing. I actually sell those super far out of the money, so it's slow growing, and I really don't even have to think about or manage them. I've never had to roll one out. The only time I've rolled them out is if they're when they've gained most of what they're going to. So so that's been the most part as far as like what the growth has been. And the other parts of it, I take some of that money and have been sticking it into equities kind of along the way, because those are pretty much safe, right? Even if the stock goes down, at least you own it. So some of my money has gone into Tesla. I mean, you can see the video I did Friday where I went through everything. Like all those stocks have been bought by my premium collected on the credit spreads. And what I've been trying to do, although it's a little bit difficult to want to do the spreads on anything else, I've been trying to diversify the other underlyings that I do the put credit spreads on, and then doing some iron condors too, especially when I see some things that have been just barcoding. So like one of them was Netflix, and grab Netflix. So like even over this last 180 days, half year, you kind of see this low 480, high 590. So that's, to me, that looks like a pretty decent barcoding range that it's been sticking in. So that one I've been opening up to doing some iron condors on, and like you saw, a couple positions on Google, but I've been trying to diversify, and even one on Foot Locker, which was pretty random, but Foot Locker dropped quite a bit, so I wanted to take advantage of the premium to the downside. And then the broken wing butterflies, those have been something just absolutely safe, so I didn't really have to worry about them. Like you can see, I'm sure you've seen those. I mean, they're just the ones sitting here. It's like $300 collateral, but you know, we collect $8, we collect $30, collect $23, so not a whole lot. But I want to have at least a diversification of stuff that I don't have to necessarily worry about. And with the put credit spreads on Tesla, I do. It's a volatile stock, so those I do have to manage more than some of those other positions. What is your typical DTE for credit spreads? Do you choose a certain delta? I don't look at it with the delta, but if I was have to say, like, the one that I would do typically would have been like 30 to 45 days out, and I'm looking for about 20% premium to collateral ratio, and I'm looking for a dip when I open it up, ideally, because then we're going to get more credit to that side. But a lot of where they're positioned and the days till expiration has more to do with the price action than anything else. So a lot of people will do technicals or have the same exact, they'll do the exact same play over and over again. The less certain I am of kind of what's coming up, so let's say earnings are coming up, or I know there's some catalyst coming up, maybe moving to the upside or the downside, those all start opening up farther out. But if I'm pretty confident, like now, it seems like Tesla's hit that bottom of 700, and that's been pretty good support for a while here. In that case, I'm more comfortable opening it up closer to expiration so I can roll that money out a little bit quicker, and also a little bit closer to the money. So I have 660s and 670s on that I'm more comfortable with, where 2-3 weeks ago with earnings coming up, those were scary to me. But now with even now when I see bad news coming out, and bad news like overall for the market, I don't see it being pushed down as much. So those are becoming just more and more comfortable for me. And I wish, I wish there was, you know, some sort of magic formula, you know, the statistically right thing to do, 45 days out, start managing them when they're 21 days till expiration. Teach us, Oracle Jason, the strategy. Would you do a small cohort study to learn it? I don't know what cohort means. That's crazy. I've been speaking English for a while. What is that? Cohort study. I still don't know what it is. I love it. Maybe if you can put that into layman's terms for me, maybe I could. Is that basically like going kind of through what I've done? Okay, so it's observational studies. Yeah, it sounds like something that I probably could do. The problem is there's so many factors that go into what I do, and that's why I like to post like, hey, I'm rolling this out or I'm closing this out, and the reason behind it, like my thinking. You know, I've made plenty of moves that were mistakes or did not turn out well, and then I can kind of go back and see what my thinking was at that time. Or is that like when it says a group of individuals? Is that like a Zoom call and we all get together and actually just talking back and forth on it? I need it broken down Barney style for me. I did see the message before it got taken away about AI Day, which is going to be super awesome. I know we talked about QYLD last week, but also look at Jeppy, Nusi, RYLD, which have better ratings. Do they, just as far as like returns, we'll have to, when we actually have the time, or when I have the time, we should talk kind of through those. And I've seen some of those like pop up in my feed where people were comparing them. That's just one I happened to grab, and it's been pretty nice so far. What is where are the other ones? I assume they're kind of similar funds. QLD was interesting, so I did some research and searching. And what do you mean by, oh, JP Morgan? So definitely better growth on that. And I know you almost can't look at the dividends on this. Similar trends with the S&P and monthly income. What is the dividend payout on those? Is it a monthly one as well? Okay, monthly, lower volatility. I don't see a dividend ratio on there though. But I think I've seen this one come up a couple times. After your 5K challenge hits its goal, would you be willing to do a smaller account challenge? Let's say $2,500 for people with smaller accounts. Yeah, I could do it. I could do that potentially even in my Tastyworks, because those are just options I continually roll. And I started that account. My Tastyworks, I think I started off with $600 is what I started my Tastyworks with, and now it is somewhere around 8,000 and some change. Not huge, but that was when I started, because I was like, maybe this is a fluke growing this first account, and then just tried to start doing it all over. And I think it's like 80, we're at like 83 or something. And I just closed all my positions, so it's all completely liquid in my Tastyworks. Let's see what we do have in that account. 8,200 from $600. But yeah, the problem is, like with Tastyworks, with all the fees on it. I mean, it would definitely be ideal to just do in Robinhood, or maybe if I can find someone I trust enough to where they'll lend me their info and I can play with their account or something like that. Where, yeah, back and forth. I just like the fact that Robinhood is so easy to do, kind of like on the fly. But we could do something like that for sure. They have better returns. Growth, cool. You agree? Robinhood $2,500 challenge, you're down. Yeah. I think that stuff is super fun. And it's also, I was talking about that yesterday. Like, it's just so ridiculous. This, like, how fortunate are we to have money to literally play games with? It's not, an eating challenge or a weight loss challenge. It's literally just playing with money challenge. And if we succeed, we just make a bunch more money. It's insane. Which one, and out of all those, which one do you like the best? Which fund, like from your research? I mean, because I am not married to QYLD. I don't mind moving it somewhere else. I mean, it's pretty much a piggy bank for my Robinhood. If I need to take it out for whatever equity to roll things out, then I'd be fine with doing that. Overall fund rating is better than yes monthly. Better returns is pretty awesome. I mean, let's see. So over the year, that's a 15% growth, and I think QYLD just basically doesn't grow. So I guess, yeah, and I guess if you had a 15% return and they're just giving you a 10% dividend over the last year, what did QYLD grow, or did it? Like basically didn't grow and just paid everything out. FTLOs, Fidelity. I should stick these all somewhere just completely different. I have too many things going on, honestly, for just in the Robinhood, because I have like now long-term equity holdings that I bought during that huge dip. I play a bunch of put credit spreads. I have stuff I want to build positions on still, like Palantir. I have wheels going. I have covered calls going, poor man's covered calls, and then I have money in QYLD. But I guess I could just shift that. I think I only have, what do I have in there? Like 7,000 or something like that, 7, 8. So it's not huge, but something I thought was pretty stable. Where is it? Oh yeah, 8,000 in QLD. We could definitely move it. Because at least we haven't, I guess at least when we move it too, we don't have a whole lot of gains. We only have 200 and something bucks in there worth of gain, so it's not like that's gonna hurt. $2,500, and yeah, getting back to that $2,500 challenge, something like, I think I really need to do something like that. Unless I get specific questions or people asking me to do certain things, I'm almost like just running out of stuff to do, and and selling. I just keep opening up those put credit spreads, and man, getting boring. getting real boring. And then when somebody asks me, can you open up an iron condor, I'm like, yeah, at least I'm helping somebody else out. I'll open an iron condor. Or ask me some basic questions just to do something. I love it. Oh, how are the fees on Fidelity, by the way? Because maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that challenge. I don't have anything with Fidelity, but if I can get something with low enough fees, and I don't know, do they do? Are they low fee, and can we do options in Fidelity? I just don't know. Can you look to see if selling options with TNA is good enough premium for selling calls and puts? Wasn't somebody... Uh-oh, leverage product. So we haven't moved much, which is pretty nice. That's definitely been in a zone. Oh, this is weird. You just... Oh, my face is in the way. You just closed a specific ETFs page. What was your goal when looking at that ETFs page? Considered buying. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to do the rest of that. But let's see. TNA options. And wait, where would we need to be? So... probably want to sell maybe some 75s. add a few weeks. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty decent premium. Yep, I think it's worth it. I would do it. It's kind of a good mix too, because it's definitely been within a range, good enough premium, with still being nice and far out of the money. I think that's good. I think there was somebody that was saying that that's all they did over and over was, I think they sold the 75, just sold cash covered puts at $75 for ever and ever and ever. What stocks have halted down as much as SESN on Friday? I saw that. I have no idea what the news was, but I saw something pop up on that. What even happened with that? And just while you guys are in here, does anybody know why weed stocks have just sucked? My only guess, because I don't follow them, I just don't follow the space at all. Like, of course, I'll hear headlines, but my only thought was maybe they were just overhyped for a long time, and everybody wanted to get in because everybody was buying everything, and now that has died off. But other than that, I don't know if there's been any policy changes, any news or anything. But it seems like they've just kind of been in an overall downtrend. Yeah, it did. I saw that halt, but is that on Robinhood? Oh, they had a failed like a failed drug or something like that, right? And it was like down to 68 from 591. Yeah, I saw this halt. What was it, 60? I thought I saw it at 68. Maybe I can see it with, how do you turn on candles here? Maybe only on the mobile app or here. Okay, so 70 cents. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy drop. What stocks have halted down as much as SC? But other than that, probably Luck and Coffee. I didn't get to see that. I only heard about that. I mean, the crazy one was, let's see, halted down as much. Not down as much, but I mean, during when COVID came out, like the S&P actually got halted. Like, it never gets halted. Got halted several times, which was nuts. That's when we were just printing money from puts. I think Luck and Coffee might be the only other one. Oh, what about, I don't know how much they dropped. What about Didi? That's the only other one I know, like recently, that actually had some pretty crazy drops. No, I mean, not a 90% drop. I don't know anything. I don't know anything else. It's definitely highly volatile, but I think that's a benefit compared to the SPY. Yeah, you're going to get... I was thinking about this yesterday a little bit. Like, some people want to play less volatile stocks so that their spreads, their whatever they're selling, when they're selling premium on it, it's just less volatile, so they take less risk. But the time that they're going to get bent over and screwed is when there actually is some just totally unexpected volatility on that stock. And at least if you're playing something that you know to be volatile, you are collecting the premium, which is going to be high because your risk is relatively high, and you've already likely positioned yourself to account for that volatility somewhat. So I think a low volatility stock does not make any sense to sell premium on, unless it's like you're doing the 0 DTE SPX plays or something like that, or if you're just selling covered calls, or you're selling puts to pretend, like, hope to get assigned on certain things. But other than that, I don't think so. Hertz. How about Kodak too? Hertz, Kodak. I don't remember how bad Hertz got hurt. It's terrible. Let's see. FLGC is a weed stock that has been taking off over the past few weeks. FLGC, Flora growth. Yeah. Oh, dang. Yeah. Taking off. Should have played that instead of Tilray, apparently. No, I just would have got the shares called away right away. TAL. What is TAL? I know that ticker, probably. Oh, is that a Chinese education deal? Wow. That's a good drop. Well, that's like within the month. That's just been a few weeks. So that was sitting at, what, 20 down to 6? Did they drop more than that? Oh, damn. That's a slow bleed right there. That would have sucked. Like you're over like in April, like, oh, I'm gonna buy the dip now. Look, I'm really smart. I bought the dip, and now it's coming back up just to drop down another like 60, 70, 80%. Terrible. Let me go back to Thinkorswim. So, what would I play? Myrna. I own some equity in this. I've had for a year and something. I don't know where I'd play Myrna. Maybe I'd do the call credit spreads if I wanted to do something. But, and I haven't followed the news, so I don't know why. I don't know what this huge spike was or the huge drop. So if I knew what the reason for that was, I'd be able to let's see. Well, there's earnings, so they didn't give a crap about earnings. But if I knew the reasons behind it, I'd probably be able to give you a better answer to actually like where I would play it. I don't think I would play much here. I might do like I might only play like a reverse iron condor or something, or inverse butterfly. But yeah, I would probably look for something else. I don't like that chart. that one's scary to play some credit spreads on to me. HUD is a cheap play on Bitcoin with really good premiums. Speaking of Bitcoin, there is a company. Their ticker is BTCS. Right? BTCS Inc. Com. So actually, I talked to the CEO of this company. They reached out to me a little bit, or a little bit ago. Last week we had a Zoom meeting, just to see if there was anything we could kind of work together on as far as like collaboration. And basically, I think he had his assistant basically like reach out to a lot of smaller people doing YouTube and see if there's something that fits. So if you guys happen to look this up and there's something you think there is of interest, let me know. They're a staking company with crypto, and eventually what they want to do is become kind of the intermediary for staking. So if there's any of that you guys have any interest in, let me know. I can reach out. We can do interview, we can do live stream, we can do whatever. But the guy's obviously very, very knowledgeable in that space. He actually set up anyways, one of the other crypto companies. He's the guy that got him set up. So it was pretty interesting. And But I didn't think there was something that fits in really with what I do or what people probably watch most of my videos for. Does Robinhood let you sell options with margin? Yes, it does. And it actually separates it out, so it'll show your options margin being used, and you're not you don't have any interest on those. But the option itself is not marginable, if that makes sense. So you can use margin to purchase or sell an option, but the option isn't marginable. It's like buying a smaller stock where you have to have 100% of the money, like when Robinhood IPO'd. It's not like you could have bought it on like 50% margin or anything like that. I have a $70 call to your leaps on ATVI. I just bought it when the stock dips to 80. I think it was oversold. Only $1,900 play, I think. Yeah, that'd be super awesome. I love leaps. They're so nice because you can just kind of set them and forget them, and you can be super down on them, and then it just takes one good day or a couple days to do really well. ATVI, Activision. One I have not opened. I think I have some of this in my long term, just like 4 or 5 shares or something like that. Oh, and they had hit 100. So you just purchased those then? That'd be pretty sweet. I'd just look to turn those into debit spreads somewhere along the way, get that capital back, and do it again. UTM had a big down, 617 went from 75 to 15, but it was a slow grind down all day. I don't know what UTME is. A lot of the... Is it another biotech? I still don't know what it is. Udemy Limited? What do they do? Bang to the downside. That's like the only volume day that there was. I guess there was one in July too. Let's do that. Let's make a lot of money. How do you make it a debit spread all in one play? Like a spread, or is it separated? Yeah, it's separated. So, yeah, you just leg into it. So I did that on Snap. And it's kind of like, I think we get used to Robinhood with them grouping things up, but you know, a lot of other brokerages don't even show like, okay, these together are a credit spread, and I think that's why people like them a lot. And I've also seen people freak out when all of a sudden the two are separated. They're like, no, my credit spread, and I don't understand what's going on. But a lot of brokerages, they'll show them separately anyways. And I've also seen in the past, which I was trying to show, sometimes when you moved a leg, it would separate them out. But it won't, like my Snap. So this $60 call and this the $75 call that I sold, that is a debit spread now at this point. But I had originally just bought the $60 leaps. We purchased those for, I think, can't remember how much. But I was able to sell the $75 call for more than I had paid for this originally. So where is my... Okay, so I paid $1,700, basically $1,800 for the $60 call. And then is it gonna do this on this too? Good Lord. And then when Snap had that incredible day where it just shot up, I was able to sell the 75 for $19.50. So I pocketed $180, and now it's a free debit spread. So as long as it's still above $75, cool. We get to keep another $1,500 on this play, and basically for zero cost, or for getting, I got paid. Do I think Amazon being so low but with low volatility would be a good time to do a bull debit spread? I opened up another one at 3,100, but it seems like it's kind of... It seems like it's just kind of slowly moving to the downside, and I expected to see a bounce back or some resistance at this point. I haven't been following the price long enough for me to like kind of know its history and what it moves based off of, which is another reason that I've almost just focused on Tesla, because I'm used to like all the news that comes out, and I know what affects it, and I know kind of what BS is. God, Amazon's been all over the place though. I thought it was pretty nuts because I hadn't followed it, but then didn't we? What was this, like in June? Where's the 3-year? Like in June, it gave up all the gains for the year or something like that. No, it was earlier than that. Okay, so March, it was like 2021 hadn't even happened yet. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I don't know, because if it was like, it almost should have this, what, $3,400, the previous resistance level after the breakout, as new support, but we're just not seeing that. So it may just move back down to where it was bouncing off of at that $3,000 range. So looking at this, that's probably where I should have opened it up, waited for some more downtime. So nuts to see earnings like these on Amazon, like $15, $14, $12, when I'm used to seeing so many that are like, hey, we only lost 11 cents or we made 12 cents a share, but $3,300 a share, yeah, that would be pretty high, I guess. All right. I know there's someone in the Cord has $19,000 collateral Amazon credit spreads right after the drop. They went all in. I wonder what their strikes were. That's pretty awesome though. More nuts than I have for sure though. Like, just going all in on one trade. Like, you see all the Wall Street bets or videos like, hey, this guy went from like YOLO'd his life savings of 50,000 and made 7 million overnight, but that'd be crazy going down to zero. Really want to hit a 6-figure account by next year. Be such a milestone. Where are you at now? Are you at 5 figures? Like, how far do we have to go? So often a stock that goes parabolic like that Seems more multi-halt ups at the open next trading day. Yeah. Oh, can I take yeah, let me look at that first. What am I looking at? GRENV. All these things I'm not. Holy crap. What the hell? What do we have? Some memeness. It's so weird. It could be not news. It could be just some craziness. All right. Green Vision, which I don't even know what it is. Shares are trading higher after Helbiz announced it completed its business combination with Green Vision acquisition. Let's see. Okay, let's see. It multi-held it up Friday, and I think it's setting up for Monday. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about the news. There's also like if there is some reason that this is now a long play, like there's always that instant reaction with all the basically the computers putting in orders and buying it and manipulating the market a little bit, and then the actual fund managers, they're not going to digest and make moves in large accounts, but maybe they'll add to it on Monday. It's usually like the next trading day. That's why we'll see a lot of continuations, but really depends what that means. And I don't know, I don't know the company, but what it truly means to their like fundamentals. Does this mean was this just the only spike? I mean, is the company really 50% more valuable now? Should it be twice as valuable? I don't know what that means. Okay, and what are we looking at? BLRX sounds like another biotech. I feel like the biotechs are making a comeback. BioLine, of course. Well, as far as the chart looks pretty boring. What are you trying to do with BioLine? You're at 63K. I just feel like the VIX spikes next week. The Amazon spreads might be a little close in price. My issue is that I haven't been using all my collateral. That's not an issue. That's smart. that's called capital preservation. I mean, in reality, you have what? You're trying to do it by when? By next year? That's totally doable. So if we only use half of it and you're making 10% gains on that, what does that come out to? So if you're just using 30,000, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus the other 33,000, 86. That's pretty close. I think you can do it. That's only 10% a month. That's only 2.5% gains on half of the account every week. That's not bad. You can do it. Like before next summer, yeah, a whole year for sure. Watch out for any stocks starting with B. Crazy biotechs. It was the RX that tipped me off. not the B. I think you'll do it. I mean, my silly thing, what have we gained in the last, I don't know, where have we been at? So the last quarter, 57% in the last quarter. And that's with holding a bunch of equity that hasn't moved very much. I mean, AT&T didn't do anything for me. Coca-Cola really didn't do much for me. QYLD didn't do much for me. So, and I know Tesla's up a bit, but that's not a huge chunk of it. So it's not totally undoable. And I screw up just like everybody else. I have YOLOs in there that I lose on, bad plays. Had some pretty good ones too, but that's one quarter. What did I start my account with and when? I started this Robinhood account at the end of 2019 with $575, and I've withdrawn $55,000 out of this account. And to be clear, I got very, very fortunate that I got in right before everything tanked. That was a lot of luck and really good positioning. So I grew my initial 500 and some bucks up to 50,000 fairly quickly, and then after that I've made $190,000 and withdrew 50 of it. Kathy Wood just took 1 million shares in one of her ETFs. Oh, then I do own some of that because I have all of her ETFs in an M1 account. I have an M1 account where I buy into all of her ETFs every week. Yeah, but you'll get it. You'll definitely get it. Especially because you're like here all the time. You're learning constantly. You'll get it. How much of my account do I have in stock? Probably 2/3 of it. Something like that. So a lot of it isn't moving. I mean, that's just almost not as bad, but pretty close to having cash. I haven't done as well as you over the past year. That's okay. I've had terrible, like, it's crazy, like, you know, step back and you look at that. Okay, that looks pretty awesome. But like, if you kind of pick it apart, it's like June 1st, the count at $143,000. June 3rd, $120,000. So in 2 days, I mean, that was a $23,000 loss. 20%, almost 20%, 19% of the account value I lost over a course of a couple days. Now, stepping back and having gone through a bunch of ups and downs, I'm becoming a little more emotionally numb to it. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm not crying or having a stomach ache or anything like that. But some of those, like, just as much as you can go down, you're up. Like, July 2nd, we were at 173. A few days later, 145. So we're definitely nice and volatile there. So, you know, maybe I'm doing better over the past year, but who knows? You know, next week, depending on what your positions are, you could be doing better than me. Like, totally could. And you see everything that I do in this account. Everybody sees all of it. Once in a while, I'll do some day trades or something like that I don't post, but you get to see all of it. No crazy secret methods or anything like that. Everything's like very straightforward. I think I've shown how to open up every single thing that I've ever opened up, and now even like most of the stock that I'm sitting on, most of them I don't think are going to go up, you know, a huge amount anymore. I bought them when we had that huge dip, like whatever, my MGM and Cedar Fair and Hawaiian Airlines and Tapestry and all those I just bought because they were super cheap. And I also have ones in my other account that I bought because like whatever Planet 13, that was the only other weed stock that I own. I bought those when they were like $1 some. When Tom Sosnoff says do put credit spreads on implied volatility if rank 50, is that the implied volatility that increases as you go to high pop? The IV that increases, that if you go to high probability play credit spreads, how it shows in Robinhood. When he says do it, okay. I think he's just talking about the actual. Let's see, where does it show it on Robinhood? Let's actually. It's fine. I'm bad at reading, so we're a perfect match. I mean, it'll show it on the individual, like right here. Let me make sure I'm not in the way. So Greek's down here, and then here's your IV right there. What's up, H-Mans? Glad you made it. So I think that's what he's talking about. Sometimes he'll talk about, I don't know if he was talking about on specific stocks, because he talks a lot and has thousands of hours worth of videos. If he's talking about like the overall market or on that individual one, I'm not sure. So when it's higher, it means implied volatility is a it's a, what do I want to say? It's showing like what has happened in the past, not predicting kind of what's going to happen in the future, if that makes sense. It's I'm lacking the word for it right now. But it basically takes the last like X amount of time and where the, like what kind of range the stock has been in, and that's when that'll be the computed implied volatility, and then that implied volatility will get calculated into the extrinsic value of an option. If that makes sense. It's not an indication of forward, it's an indication of the past, or kind of or where we're at presently. How did you get into using the MACD and RSI? I'm not super into them. I'm not. Oh, just that I had it up on. Where did we have it up on? Did we have it up on our whatchamacallit? Oh, yeah, we had them here. I have those up here. I don't really use it. It just, yeah, I don't have a good answer for you. I want to see there when there was like a squeeze to the upside. One of the things I may get into possibly is actually day trading, but I know I have to go through probably a year of breaking even or losing money to be able to become any good at it. So I haven't put too much time and effort into it. I think I was probably just going through and setting this up differently, and I believe I even got interrupted, so it's not even where exactly I want my thinkorswim to be. I almost exclusively just use it for price action. How do you add top and bottom text to PowerPoint? What? I don't know.
I think this might be the wrong chat for that. Maybe somebody else can let you know. Um, yeah, I don't know. Probably add some text or something. And and then just like overall with the indicators, I don't use them. I use price action, I use catalyst coming up, I use news, I use probably everything else other than technicals. I'll look at it for a broader, hey, where is support been, where is resistance been? Looking for consolidation. And I think we actually, it's like on my Tesla chart. Yeah, I'm out of the way. So I actually do have a few lines, and that's like all that I use. So I was looking at this huge wedge, and at this point, this was the breakout. So we could actually move outside of this huge consolidation. And then we saw this as resistance, which later I could probably extend this line out now because that resistance has become support. So that is all my technicals on Tesla. I've been doing a lot of 90% probability of profit, but I feel like I'm not getting my bang for my buck, because you said if I'm growing 10% on 30K, I would probably need to do it on Tesla or go to, I'd probably need, 130K. Probably need to do it on Tesla or go to 80% probability on the try, which is probably pretty safe. I mean, they are exactly what they are. 90% is 90% safe. But the one thing it doesn't take into account is the fact that you get to roll things out. So that's the probability of that expiring like out of the money, but that's not accounting for you, the human, paying attention to what's going on and rolling that out. And that's also looking for a 10% gain. Let's say you look for that 10% gain over the month, but the underlying can go up, which has happened to us. So that gain comes a lot quicker. That's of course if everything is staying the same too. Yeah, SPY has been crazy. SPY has been crazy lately. It seems like new highs every other day. Yeah, it's nuts. Seems like a pretty easy place to put money if you really want to set it and forget it. Definitely. I mean, I think the only worries we have right now, Delta, but we've already been through just dealing with COVID stuff. So I don't think like the effects are worrying, but I don't think we're as scared of it as we would have been a couple years ago when we hadn't been through a pandemic and some China tensions. That's it. But most of those get blown off, and interest. But I don't think interest is as big deal as it's made out to be. I think even if we have a big drop because or inflation starts going up, I think that'll be blown off pretty quick. Oh, great question. Who do I main in Smash Bros? Is this just all random stuff? Okay. All right, there we go. Don't have to deal with that anymore. Have you ever heard of Baldstead Securities? They might have been an underwriter for some big IPO movers. I haven't. How should I protect my account against inflation? Your account is protection against inflation. Literally. So it's the difference between your $100 being able to buy a share of something and then it's sitting in cash, and then as all those prices go up, you can't afford it anymore. Do you think the Delta variant will shut things down again? I don't know. Like where I live, we're stepped back, so now we're like mandatory masks as of last week. I think it was like Tuesday or no, like Wednesday or Thursday. I don't think it'll. I do not think so because it's not knocking people out like it was with the initial one. If they've already been vaccinated, most of us have been vaccinated, so I don't think so. I think the scary part is the other, like the third world countries, that the vaccine is not like is not available in other places, which is funny because we get the anti-vaxxers who are like, I'm not taking that, it's a big scam. And then other countries are like, please just can I get some vaccinations over here? So some of those more developing nations, but that are still suppliers to the US, probably like the biggest one I can think of, Vietnam and India. I think that could have some effect there, but I don't think nearly what we saw before. And a lot of it's been supply chain, if nothing else. Heard they're doing forced vaccinations. What do I think of that? I don't like it. I think I don't know if that's like there's like I know a lot of places like you can't work here unless you're vaccinated. Fine. But I think as far as forcing people to do stuff, I don't think we get to do that. I don't think we get to force people to do stuff, and I don't think we can tell people not to do stupid things. Like, you can have a stupid opinion, and that's great that you're right, no matter how stupid it is or hurtful. I think that's one of the cool things about living here. So I've not heard that. The force, I would be blown away if we got away with that somehow. Don't trust the news. I don't trust the news. Not especially. It's not so much the news, but the news's interpretation. It's how they read things. Like, I will watch the original, like what somebody said, and then you'll see the news's interpretation, and they took 3 words out of somebody's sentence and be like, this guy hates whatever, like this guy hates people from, I don't know, Indiana. Like, no, that's not what he said. What are your thoughts on lithium shortages 5 to 10 years once most cars are EV? Do you think that'll affect Tesla? I don't think so. Part of, I don't know if you paid attention to Battery Day, but that was like one of the huge things. They're actually, the amount, first of all, with the lithium batteries, the lithium content is minuscule, very, very tiny. Elon will say, we shouldn't be calling them. We should be calling them, we should be calling them by the metals that are make up most of the content in the batteries, and of course they purchased, I believe it was land in Arizona with a bunch of it. Came up with a new process for getting it, and a new way to recycle the old batteries to recover that lithium too, which it's sure going to happen. So I am not worried about that. And the battery technology, just like over the last 5-10 years, has been ridiculous, and the amount of innovations. And now that we know that there is such a huge demand for batteries, like that is the biggest constraint for everybody. Like if we were running out of a certain metal, like tons and tons, and billions, trillions of dollars would be dumped into researching a replacement and fixing that. How big was your account when you started buying stock? I think I don't know. I think my guess would be about 50,000, 30 to 50,000. I think it was this point where, okay, I took this account from little to big, and what do you hear over and over again? You hear about people blowing up their accounts, blowing up their accounts, blowing up their accounts. Options are risky, they're scary, and all these things. So that's why I shifted money into actual stock, because I was like, well, I can't lose that. I mean, Coca-Cola could go down to half, but I'm not losing the shares at all. And that's also why I withdrew that $50,000 out of the account too. I can't remember how much initially I took out, but I did not want to. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be where I'm at today at all. Like when I had made my first 50 grand or 60, 70 grand, I was like, cool, man. I just made a Tesla. Like, I literally just paid for my Model Y in the matter of a few months. And I didn't want to go from, cool, I just got a free Tesla out of playing the stock market, to crap. No, I lost it all. And so that's why I started doing both those. Withdrawing some cash. Actually, yesterday, I withdrew another $1,000 out of the Robinhood account. I do take money out every now and again. Like to take a few grand out, just might as well. First, I'm gonna have to pay taxes, and secondly, those stressful times when we're down $10,000-$20,000 in a few days, like I gotta pay myself for that headache, right? That emotional difficulty. These meme stocks are like the new buy up penny stocks, 100%. AMC, yeah. I hear about it every other day. Like, I have they've been dropping for a while, huh? I have one of my girlfriend's customers just literally, like, they opened up the Robin account, watched the YouTube video, they said to buy AMC calls. The guy bought AMC calls. His first, like, never had bought a stock in his life and made $600,000. His and then his daughter did the same thing. I don't know. And I think his daughter and his son, and together they made like $1.6 million or something like that from like little tiny first trades ever. Just crazy. I sold my AMC. I can't remember. Where did I sell it? I probably wasn't even this like last year. I think I sold my AMC for like $4. Damn it. I really need to fix my sleeping schedule. I'm always up with only an hour or two of stock market being open. Yeah. You can sleep later. Sleep next year. Thank you for my insights. You're welcome. Are you watching any good TV series right now? See, on Netflix or just regular TV? I have not had regular TV for 10 or 15 years. So, Netflix, I just caught up with the last season of Outer Banks, and I'm watching that series called YOU. It's a pretty weird one, but nothing great. The last thing I watched that I thought was really good was the Queen's Gambit. That was my last thing I watched that I thought was pretty awesome. That one I think I binged watched like over the course of like 2 days or something like that. And then Outer Banks I think I just watched because we were like, I think it came out during when I was shut down for work, and watched more Netflix than I ever have in my whole life. Have you ever tried an electric mountain bike? No, I have not. You know what? I have not been on an electric mountain bike or scooter, like a decent one. I think like one of the old ones, or then when they were still like super slow. I need to. I think we have a manufacturer here in Seattle too, if I'm not wrong. Pineapple Express, like the old movie? I'm trying to watch. I honestly, I'm trying to watch less. I'm trying to read more. Is actually what I'm trying to do. I picked up my Kindle White today, so I just had that delivered. Trying to focus on that. I feel like there was actually a show I was watching like a couple years ago where somebody was dying in bed watching TV, and it just, I don't know. My thought was, well, You know, I can, like, when I'm dying or I'm sick, I can watch Pineapple Express, but for now, I'd rather go do some stuff. What's up, Bobby? What's up, Mr. K? Is that Mr. Thousand Options? Like, you're watching all the classics, but you're pretty young too. Like, I watched those probably when I was a kid. Fight Club's really weird. I think Fight Club you can watch twice or 3 times, because once you find out what the end was, then you can watch it all over again with that in mind. Oh, awesome! Thanks so much. Another question: how much premium a week did you make each week at the start? I'm just starting credit spreads and trying to balance good growth with limited risk. So I was, how much premium a week? I was opening up things, I think about 3 weeks out with about 20% premium on the collateral. So I don't know a great dollar, like I couldn't tell you a dollar amount that I did. I mean, we could always, I guess, scroll back and look at my account during that time. But there was, like, I've basically gone through a couple, well, pretty much like 3 phases in that Robinhood account. One was during the huge drop where things were just tanking and I made a ton of money off of that. 2, I started experimenting with a bunch of different options plays. And then that's where everything just started kind of consolidating on my account. I wasn't getting any movement. I was just barking. I was like up and down, up and down, up and down, trying all sorts of different things, following other people's plays and doing things like that. Wasn't making any decisions on my own. And then when I fell into put credit spreads, that's when I started doing pretty well. But that was after that jump up to $50,000 or $70,000 that I had made when the market had tanked. So there wasn't, and I didn't, like, I still don't. I don't have an end point or an end goal or anything like that. It's just like continually grabbing some money. I mean, the fact that I went from $500 to 50, 60, 70,000 or whatever it was, that was like mind bending to me. That somebody with almost no options experience can jump into it, make a huge amount of money. I mean, it seems like a get rich quick scheme or something like that. I was, and when I was waking up, the few days where that happened, when I jumped from, like, I would make like these little plays with my $500, right? And I would be like up $50 and woo, and that's super awesome. Oh, I lost $10. Oh man, end of the world. And then, like, when the market actually went crazy and dropped, and I woke up, and you have that little time period when the market, like pre-market, and you see the underlying has moved, and then the bell hits, and then your options move with it, and just to see a day where your account goes from literally $700 to $32,000, like, is that even real? I don't know. I was like, and I remember a few times I'm like, how do I just, like, take these profits? Like, I don't want to give back this $30,000 we just made. It was nuts. Do you Zoom after these YouTube streams? I haven't. Oh, I was talking to, I don't know if you saw that in the Discord yesterday. I was talking to Steven about it. I was thinking about doing that today, but I need to get it set up. I don't even, like, I've done a few Zoom meetings before that. I do want to, though. Because there's not, like, right now, whatever, or 11 people. I think that's small enough to where people could just, like, BS, and it's probably going to be easier to talk. You're going to see some of you guys. It's not like there's a million people trying to jump in there. So I'll shoot for, like, next weekend to try to do that, and I'll just put all the link stuff in the Discord. But the only thing I worried about is the actual streaming. So before I had whatever, fiber optic. Now I'm on T-Mobile, and it's just an LTE router, so it's all wireless. Which I always see like this. There's a little warning on my screen that constantly says like the stream's current bitrate is lower than the recommended thing. So I think we get some choppiness or some breaking up. And then I'm wondering if the data that needs to come in and out with the Zoom meeting, if that would not be streamable, or maybe instead of doing this stream, we just do a Zoom meeting and record it, and I could post it later for anybody who wanted to watch it. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But I think that'd be cool. I went from 700 to 30,000. Yeah. I had several days that were like, it was a $30,000 day, and I think the next day, because it was just when the market was dropping, I would wake up, and then like I went from 30 to 50, and then 50 to 70. I mean, and it was in these short time periods, so it was crazy. And the fact I just literally right before that, I just had barely wrapped my mind around a lot of the barely what a put was. I couldn't tell you back then. I could tell you a put, you made money when the stock goes down, but I couldn't explain much more than that. Had no idea what a Greek was, had no idea any of it. So it was like dumb luck. Not dumb luck, calculated, and I did risk money. So it wasn't put credit spreads. No, they were puts. The 700 to 30,000. So my initial, from my $575 to about $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 were all puts when the market were going down. Like the majority of them, they were SPY puts, they were Carnival Cruise Line puts, they were calls on TLT, which was the bonds. They went up. UVXY, calls on that because volatility was going up. So that's it. I love to teach and help people with options myself for free. They are fun to teach. They are. And there's probably a lot more people. I mean, there's always more that you don't know than what you do know, is what I always feel like. So much more to learn. It is fun. That's literally why I started posting the stuff in the first place, because I wanted to talk to my friends, my coworkers, family about options, and they just had no interest. I'm like, these things are cool. They're so cool. Look at this. Look at my phone. I made $20,000 this morning from whatever I had in there, right? Like I think they were, I can't remember how much the plays were, but whatever option I bought were like nothing. So I'm like, look, I made $20,000 this morning. I started this account with $500, trying to show my friends, and they're like, yeah, cool, or whatever. Don't want to see it. And yeah, so then I just started posting stuff, and then hey, here we are today, which is super cool because I know there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, but the stuff that I do know really well, that I feel comfortable and confident enough to talk about, I will. And if I don't know it, I don't know it. And then I can help people get up to at least where I'm at, and hopefully way, way, way above it. Feel I learn about a new strategy every day. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many out there, and the cool thing is there's so many people that are successful at just one of them. So you can just pick the one that feels right for you and get really good at it, for the most part. Unless your strategy is buying like out of the money calls or puts, probably not the best one. That's what makes it fun, not knowing everything. Imagine knowing everything. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that would suck. That literally would suck. Yeah, and as soon as you start thinking you know everything, try to learn another language. That's what I always think. That stuff's hard. Those butterflies are so good. Thanks for teaching us. I put 2 on the spot. A20. Nice. Yeah, they're super easy. Wish they had SPX on Robinhood. Yeah, I don't even know why they don't. Like Iron Condor is making money if a stock stays between two outside numbers, right? Yeah, the cool thing is like there's a strategy for everything. If you think something's going to happen, not going to happen, go up, go down, up, like go down slowly. There are combinations of options you can use to where you eliminate all the extrinsic value and just simulate the stock price movement. Been trying to focus on 1 or 2. Yes, good. I'm gonna start doing iron condors when the VIX spikes. Very good. Yeah, you could do some like super wide ones, like on the SPY or Coca-Cola or something to get the feel for them. Collect a couple dollars. Find something with small increments in the strike prices. That way you're only like risking $50 or $100 or something like that. Gain a few dollars. Get the feel for them. One thing about the iron condors is just like the first couple days you'll probably show a loss on them, and that's something to get used to. Options measure the expected move, that's it. Then you wait for the actual move. Yeah. Well, except for the intrinsic part. I mean, that's the extrinsic part, right? Or at least the extrinsic portion measures that. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. I think the options are cool, but like the combinations that the things you can do with combinations of them are absolutely, it's pretty mind-blowing. Tom Sosna said that waiting for higher volatility iron condors of rank 50% and above is better than always having them on. And he analyzed how there's way more winners and you make. Yeah, that makes sense. just keep listening to Tom. You're gonna be very wise. I need to go back. I should watch him now. I've literally I watched a lot of his stuff before I could understand any of it, and then I have not. But I watched one interview with him a few weeks ago, and the amount of like little gems he throws out there, like there's stuff that I'll just put in the back of my mind, and I'm like, yeah, like it's all good, useful information. Because when I watched him, I know the first time, or the first like several videos, I was like, I'm just gonna keep watching until some of the stuff starts making sense, but it didn't. Mostly, I think because when you start talking about Delta is actually probably the biggest one that I didn't understand. And it's like the first time, I don't know about you guys, but the first time you go and try to figure out what Greeks are, and you can go to Investopedia, you read the Greeks, and you're like, okay, the sentence makes sense, but I don't, until it's kind of like in practice, it doesn't really, I don't know, for me it didn't really absorb until it got put into practice, and now we can talk about what a delta is, we can talk about any of the Greeks. So now I need to go back and watch him, especially when he's interviewing all those people, and I can understand a lot more. It's probably going to be huge. SESN up or down? I have no idea what that'll do. All I saw was the crazy drop, or I heard about it. I opened up the ticker, saw it, and that was the end of that for me. What made Tom popular? Just creating the platform. Well, he like, you know, he created Thinkorswim too, right? So he created Thinkorswim, sold that, then created Tastyworks. I think he, so he's been through two of them. And then I don't know how long he's been doing the like the videos and all that stuff. He's actually someone, like, when I'm walking or whatever, I should just put on YouTube and just listen to him talk. Because before too, when I was just getting started, like, I needed to be able to visually see things, or hope somebody had something visually to show me, because just talking about it wasn't going to make any sense. How far are we in today? What time is it? 2:55. Wow, hour and a half. So I think it's probably time for me to get going. We're gonna go try to teach a kid how to drive, so this is gonna be super interesting. And unless there's any other last minute stuff, then we'll probably see you guys Monday. Thanks for showing up, giving me time on your weekend. And then I will try to do next week, try to get together the Zoom stuff, see if my internet can keep up with it, because that should be pretty cool. It should be a lot more fun. But other than that, love you guys, and we'll see you Monday. Let's go make a lot of money.